Trailer, on the trailer itself, I'm going to look at the frame of the trailer just to make sure all the cross members are in place. The floor is in good shape. There's no bad welds or anything like that on the bottom. I'm also just going to look at the exterior of the trailer, making sure all the reflectors are in place, and making sure that I don't see any loose or missing rivets up and down the trailer. And I'm also just going to double check just to kind of make sure on my this one has a refrigerator unit. I'm just going to make sure I don't see any loose parts that could come free on the refrigerator unit. On the reefer tank, I'm going to just double check to make sure I don't see any leaks. I know that not every vehicle has those, but this one I'm just going to make sure that everything looks safe, nothing's going to fall off there. Check to make sure that the side lights are working. And also under here, I'm just going to make sure that none of my wires or hoses are loose or broken free, properly attached. And again, I mean, same brakes. I'm just going to inspect the brake chambers, hoses, slack adjusters, and then just kind of take a peek. I can look across there and see that the pads and the brake drums are good, as well as the leaf springs look to be in good shape on the rear here as well. On the trailer, I'm also going to look at the axle seals, make sure that they're in good shape, and I'm also going to look at the level of the oil here in those axles to make sure that they're in good shape. I'll be looking at the rims back here as well, just making sure there's no rust trails coming down from the lug nuts. Check the valve stem, make sure it's metal with a cap, and make sure it's properly inflated to the manufacturer specifications. And then the tires, I'm just going to look to make sure that there isn't any tread separation starting, and that there's at least 2/32 of tread left on the trailer tires as well. Coming back to the rear of the trailer, I'm going to look at the hinges, and I'm going to look at the rear doors just to make sure that they are both properly secured with the locks, and then also just making sure that I don't see any missing bolts, loose bolts, or anything like that on any of the doors or hinges. Making sure that there's also the proper reflectors in place on the rear of the vehicle. Alright, and then after that, I'm kind of finished with the exterior inspection. The only thing I'm going to do is, that I don't have on the driver's side, is I'm going to kind of continue the inspection of the exhaust that I began in the engine compartment, just making sure that where the exhaust comes out, I don't see any major dents, any rust or corrosion, or any excessive amount. I think this one has quite a bit of carbon soot on it, but I'm just going to double check just to make sure it's in decent shape. And even though I already checked it, I will check to make sure there aren't any leaks from this gas tank, and that the gas cap is finger tight. And one of the last things I'm going to do now that it's been sitting here for a little while is I'm just going to double check underneath the vehicle just to make sure I don't see any major leaks or puddles on the bottom. So that's all looking pretty good. The last thing I have to do is I'm going to be inspecting my lights.